Hi Taurus, welcome to your May 2019 love reading. This will be for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. They drop. Alright, so this is going to be for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you are cross-watching, you're more than welcome to hang out and stay. I do have cross-watcher videos already done for each zodiac sign, however, for the month of May. So if you want to check that out, it says cross-watcher. You can check out that series after this one. And then in a couple of days, I'll do the June cross-watcher. Or maybe like in a week or two, I'll do the June cross-watcher. But this is going to be for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's see what's happening in love. Little bit of a different format, guys. This time around, I'm going to pull 5 cards. And then I'm going to pull clarifiers for each card. So it should be a little bit more detailed than what we're used to, okay? We've got the Chariot coming up, Taurus, for your first card here. This is a major arcana card. The way that I read tarot, every reader is different, okay? So readers are going to read cards different ways, and sometimes even the same card could be read in different ways depending on just the vibe or the feel or the other cards that are around it. For me, when I get major arcana cards in a reading, especially in a love reading, this to me is a message that something that is happening is very significant in terms of a soulmate connection, a life lesson, an opportunity for growth. So there's a big crossroads, Taurus. Chariot here is you're moving forward on something. Maybe you had not been decided. Maybe you weren't sure what you wanted to do about something, but you've made a decision either way. And because this is a general reading, it's going to vary, right? I can't sit here and say, oh, you've decided to stay with someone, or oh, you've decided to leave somebody, because it's going to be different for different ones of you. What I can say is that a decision has been made, and there's an involvement here with a very significant soulmate. We're going to pull some clarifiers and see what is going on. So here's clarifier number 1, clarifier number 2, clarifier number 3. Alrighty, so first clarifier we have is the world. Okay, so the way that this is feeling to me in your reading, Taurus, is whatever decision you've made, the base of it has been that you've decided that you want to be happy. Okay, so you've made a decision that you're going to go in the direction in which you're going to be happy, and you're completing some process. Again, you have another major arcana card. So this is a very significant turning point for you, Taurus. So if you've been one of those Taurus who've really been suffering in love, like maybe you've just been having the same kind of people coming into your life, or the same kind of thing repeating, you've just been like, enough is enough, and you've finally found a handle or a person or a situation where you have an opportunity to turn it around, and you're going for it. You're going in this new direction towards your happiness, towards completion, towards joy. Okay, some of you may even be planning some kind of travel. That's been coming up for some of the signs. There may be some similarities in some of the different readings. For those of you who are watching your moon sign and rising sign, or you're cross-watching for different people, that's been an ongoing theme. Travel's been an ongoing theme. There's been some crazy third-party energy. And there's been, what else has there been? The Strength card keeps coming up. So we're going to see how your reading kind of transpires moving forward. There may be some similarities, okay? But you're definitely coming into this joy energy, Taurus. Next you have 6 of Canes, or 6 of Wands, as might be addressed or called in traditional tarot. So this is a victory coming in. Okay, this is a sense of freedom also that's coming in, or something being acknowledged, or something being out in the open. Okay, so if you've been in this weird thing with a partner where the air needs to be cleared, or you feel like you haven't been heard, something is coming to the forefront. Something is being acknowledged, something is being expressed, something is being heard. And for some of you, there's even a sense of release, like I said, because you're moving in this new direction. I do feel that there's a communication that is happening in which some groundwork is being laid down or something is being understood. So those of you who are giving somebody a second or third or fourth or fifth or sixth or whatever the chance, or somebody who's giving somebody a brand new chance by taking a chance on a new relationship, I feel like something, like there's this, you guys are all sitting down and something is being laid down, something is being made very clear, and you're feeling very confident going in. You're optimistic this time around, for whatever your reasons may be. But I'm also feeling like there's an understanding for some reason. I'm getting a sense or a feeling that you're going in from the get-go with like a, this is what my expectations are, this is what my time frame is, this is what I expect from the relationship. You're just basically from the very beginning, like, let's be on the same page or let's not waste time. And whatever these terms are, it's being agreed, it's being heard. And then you have the Hermit, another major arcana. So we're not even like barely a fraction through your reading, Taurus. You've already got 3 major arcana cards. This is a very significant turning point for you. This soulmate who's coming in, not only are they giving the courage to go for something or take ownership of a situation or take the lead in a relationship, you're also coming into the energy of completion, joy, right? Positive completion of a cycle, freedom. And now we have this Hermit energy. So this is somebody, I think some of you are breaking the cycle of clingy relationships. Maybe you were the one who in the past, maybe sometimes you felt clingy, or you were attracting people who were clingy. And so this is breaking and coming into a relationship where there's a little bit more independence, but also kind of a mentor vibe here. This is someone who's coming in and really opening your eyes and kind of guiding you to see things in a different way. For some of you, this could be a Virgo, okay, or somebody who has Virgo in their moon or in their rising. Not necessarily, but it can be, right? It can be. And it's going to be different for different ones of you. But overall, this is a significant soulmate. And this is somebody who's coming in with a sense of just kind of like maybe showing you a different way of doing things or a different way of going through life. Once again, all connected to the theme of freedom. So you may be interacting with somebody who's a little bit more of a free spirit or a free soul, but still has a very strong sense of ethics and principles and character, as the Hermit would have, right? But the Hermit also is very awakened, and the Hermit's going to go through life doing things their own way. So this is the kind of person that you may be interacting with. Some of you, you're stepping into the Hermit role, but I feel for the majority of you, Taurus, just based on the previous readings that have come up since about, I don't know, the last 4 to 6 months, I think this is more somebody who's coming in and like kind of being your tour guide into this new life, because a lot of your readings have been about trying to reach freedom, right? A lot of you have been having, and I've gotten a lot of feedback from a lot of Taurus where it's really applied, or like you've really resonated with those readings. I know they don't resonate with everybody, but I've gotten a lot of people who are like, yes, I've been stuck in this karmic cycle, or I haven't been able to get rid of this person. And so a lot of you are finally shaking a lot of that off, and it's like there's this tour guide who's coming in. There's this soulmate who's coming in and helping this kind of move along in that direction for you, right? So that you're not going off into this new journey feeling alone. We've got 10 of Cups. So this is somebody where there's a lot of potential for joy and for happiness. For those of you who are in a committed relationship or in a marriage already, and you know that you're staying there, right? You've maybe overcome some obstacle and you all are staying together, then this would be revisiting or bringing joy back into the home. Some of you are leaving a relationship, or you're manifesting a new person coming in who's bringing a joy or a sense of fulfillment that the previous relationship didn't have, if it was a toxic one, if you're coming out of something toxic. Again, these are general readings, and depending on where you are in your journey, it's going to apply in different ways. But we definitely have this 10 of Cups here. So this is happiness and this is joy. The overall lesson here, right, especially for those of you who are going to be connecting with the free spirit, the overall lesson here, the thing that I love about this 10 of Cups is it shows like the purity of and the connection with 10 of Cups, because 10 of Cups is a card about all of your needs being met, feeling very fulfilled and feeling very happy, right? A sense of home, a sense of family. So we've got all these cats here, all these pets. So these would be like the equivalent of children, because not everybody has kids, but there's definitely like a sense of family, right? They're doing well enough. They're dressed nice. They've obviously they've got extra enough food to feed all these cats. He's just leisurely, you know, playing his flute, doing something he loves doing. And it looks like they're dressed, maybe they're going to go to a party, they're going to have a good time, they have friends. And he's just playing up to her, and she just kind of comes out, and she's so touched by it. She's like, for me? Like, she's so, like, just swooning over him being down there playing. And it's such a simple pleasure. Like, it's such just a very, very abundant, very happy, very warm, very connected, romantic even, you know, optimistic, lots of love here, right? But it's also very simple. It's not showy, right? So maybe in the past, you know, in Taurus, you guys are, you know, a sign that appreciates the creature comforts of life. But maybe in the past, a lot of the relationships that you've been in have been a lot about expressing love or appreciation through financial things, or like through gifts, or whatever it might be. And maybe people in your life have gotten very used to that. So maybe they see Taurus coming and they have their hand out, right? But this is different. This is like a different way of expressing love, where it's not monetary, right? So there's like an emotional, intimacy and an emotional satisfaction that maybe is like a breath of fresh air for some of you Taurus in this relationship that's coming in and being manifested. So we're going to go ahead and pull some clarifiers. Clarifier 1, clarifier 2, and clarifier 3. So our first one here, we've got 7 of Swords. This is like one of our stalker cards here in this month's reading for May. This one's coming up a lot. So whatever is happening in the planetary energies, this is definitely a situation where a lot of people are coming into a certain level of assertiveness, and a lot of people who've been walked all over are done with being walked all over, and they're putting an end to it, okay? So because this is such an opposite energy to this makes me feel like there's a new relationship for the majority of you, okay? Because this is so fulfilled, this is so genuine, there's such an exchange here. And 7 of Swords can be very one-sided. 7 of Swords is a situation where you're giving a lot, you're doing a lot, but you're not getting a whole lot back in return, okay? You may be very generous and people are taking advantage of the generosity. Or here in this situation, you know, like she's gone to all this work, she's laid out this table, and, you know, it seems like maybe there's no shows or people aren't showing up. So the message here is, before you go out giving your all, make sure you know what somebody else is bringing to the table and meet them with the same energy. Okay, so if you're confused between a couple of different people, or if you're confused between staying in a relationship or not, examine the contrast of these two things. Okay, here she's worked very hard and she's tired and she's alone. Here there's not a whole lot of effort. They're just being very natural. They're in their natural state, but they're connected, they're happy, they're fulfilled. Okay, so if something is making you jump through hoops, chances are that's an energy or a person who's being sneaky or selfish or has ulterior motives, and then you know, they're taking advantage of a situation. So before you go to all this hard work, make sure you know who's showing up and what they're showing up with, right? So you don't tire yourself out for nothing. We have Queen of canes here, or rods or wands or whatever you want to call it, and she's been coming up a lot too. And so this is very fiery energy. This is very passionate energy. So some of you are gonna be coming into this energy, and even though you're an earth sign, you're not a fire sign, although you may have it in your chart somewhere. This is an energy some of you are coming into. Some of you are encountering a person like this or dealing with a person like this. So overall, the message here is that there's fire coming into your love life. There's passion coming into your love life. The Queen of Canes, she's very funny. She's the life of the party. She's very sexy. She's very adventurous. She's very independent. She's very generous. She's very giving. And she's very humble. Okay, she's overcome many things in her life. And so I feel again that this kind of goes with the same energy of this soulmate that's kind of coming in. And for some of you, maybe taking you by the hand and leading you into adventure, or leading you into this new life, leading you away from the Seven of Swords kind of energy. But this is a lot of passion. This is a lot of fire. And we've got 4 of coins here. So, my darlings, as you're coming into this kind of energy, and you may be kind of thinking of your past experiences where you've been taken advantage of, and you have this fiery, hot connection with this person, or this just passion or zeal for this new relationship, you may be coming into the 4 of coins energy where there's some nervousness, right? You might be feeling a little bit vulnerable, and it's going to be very tempting for you to put your guard up or put your walls up. For some of you, Taurus, you're like, no, I'm ready. I want to do this. I want to move forward. And you may be dealing with somebody else who's been hurt and they have their walls up. It might be reversed for some of you. Okay, those of you who are dealing with the person whose walls are up, the best way to deal with it would be very much like you would deal with these animals, right? If you're trying to win them over, or you're wanting to pet them, if you go right up to them, they may kind of run away, or they may kind of flinch, or even if you're trying to feed them. But if you sit still long enough, what's going to happen? They're going to be curious. They're going to come sniffing up around you. They're going to investigate you. And once they feel like, okay, you know what, this person's cool, this is okay, they're comfortable, then they're going to let you pet them, then they're going to let you feed them. And so it's going to be the similar situation here with this person for those of you who are dealing with someone who's a little bit guarded. If you're trying to show them, oh, look, I'm a great person, I care about you, or you're safe with me, or, I know you've been hurt, they're going to flinch, they're going to pull away. But if you can just kind of stay in that calm energy, let them investigate you, let them approach it at their own pace, then you're going to have this energy where they're able to come in and feel relaxed with you and feel comfortable with you. So that's a little bit of advice that's coming in. Your next card here, Taurus. Oops. This is another one that keeps coming up. 8 of Canes. So it's very funny to me, I think, what's happening. We talked about this fiery energy. We talked about feeling a little bit vulnerable. Some of you have like certain degrees or levels of passion coming up that you haven't felt in a long time, and it's making you nervous. And that might be why the walls are coming up, right? But just go at it at your own pace. Because here we have, we have some freaky deaky going on, okay? Somebody got tied up. There's the incense burning. There's, we can use our imagination of what may have happened or what may have been explored. Okay? So I think a lot of you are calling in this soulmate who, like I said, is a free spirit. So maybe a lot of you are having an opportunity or a chance to explore all kinds of aspects of yourself that you haven't been able to explore before. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, sexually, and it can be a little bit overwhelming, right? You might be a little bit nervous, but once you let your self feel comfortable and go at your own pace, There's going to be some experiences there to be had, some exciting ones, maybe even for some of you. Albeit, guys, not all of you are going to like get into like freaky deaky crazy things unless that's really what you are curious about. But there is a level of passion that is new for you. So there is something that's happening that is exciting. That's going to be different for different ones of you. Okay? But definitely coming into that energy. We're going to pull some clarifiers here. 1, 2, and 3. These crystals out of the way. Alrighty, so Taurus, I feel something is happening with you guys financially. Okay? Because this could be a financial fear card. We had the other thing with like the simple pleasures that came in with the 10 of Cups. And 5 of Coins is also in traditional tarot a card that can indicate somebody is going out into the unknown, maybe out into the cold even, and they have some concerns around finances. But in that process, they find a good time, because 5 of Pentacles in traditional tarot can also be, you know, lovers or lovers sticking together through hard times, finding out who your real friends are, you know, becoming closer through a challenging time or a transition. And so that's just kind of the energy here with this 5 of Coins, right? They're having a good old time. They're laughing. There's not a whole lot of money on that table, right? But they're having a good time. They're not even really drinking. Like, they're just kind of frolicking around and making each other laugh. And so that's the kind of relationship some of you are coming into in May, where you're going back to the basics and you're learning how to connect and how to enjoy somebody's company, and, you know, how to feel close to someone without having to do a whole lot of you know, like fancy stuff or pretentious stuff or trying to impress one another, right? Like look how hard she's laughing. She's cracking up, right? She's just cracking up, and he's feeling pretty good about himself, right? And he can feel good that he's making her have that reaction. You know, she's enjoying his company. She's not with him because of the drinks he's buying her or the food he's putting in front of her or any gifts he's giving her, right? They're just enjoying each other's presence, each other's being. So a lot of you are coming into that kind of basics, into that kind of connection, into that kind of passion. Okay? So then next we have the Death card. Okay? This is not negative. Death card is about transition. It's about letting go of the old ways. Okay? So some of you have somebody coming in where, and again, this has been an ongoing theme. So if you're watching the moon sign and the rising sign videos, depending on which ones you're watching, some of you are like, oh, this is like the other video I watched. I think a lot of it is because of the energies that are going around right now, and a lot of the growth cycles that many people are experiencing. So there is going to be the ending to something else, right? Some of you, it is going to be ending a 7 of Swords kind of partner and upgrading to a 10 of Cups kind of partner. For some of you, it is going to be walking away from an old way of life, or just an old way of looking at things, where you're feeling forever changed. You know, some of you might be in a situation where you're choosing a new relationship over, say, like, you know, certain friends or certain family who maybe are not understanding this new you or the changes that you're going through. But I think for the majority of you, and the way I'm feeling this for you guys, for Taurus, the way I'm feeling the Death card for you guys is just kind of like you're having a chance to be angry about previous mistreatments that maybe you never really realized until you had something good. It's like you're having such a good time that your eyes are being opened and you're looking back and you're saying, man, I really got handed the short end of the stick. And you might already think you know, but now that you're moving on, you're looking back at the past and there's certain things that you're realizing, I didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve to be spoken to that way. I didn't deserve to be treated that way. Some of you are angry at yourselves because you're feeling like you wasted a lot of time. But this is about leaving the past in the past and just allowing yourself to have the transition and move forward. So there could be this period of sadness, this period of where maybe you're feeling like something is lost, but there's a rebirth coming through it. You know, there's a rebirth coming through it, and what you're walking to is much better than what you're letting go of, which could be a little bittersweet. Then you've got Four of Swords, right? So this is a change of pace, right? This is kind of a change of pace, a change of rhythm, okay? Changing things up, doing things in a different way. Again, I think a lot of you Taurus are coming out of cycles where love or the pursuit of love has been exhausting and very difficult and a lot of work. And, you know, Four of Swords is going to be more just kind of, you know, chill, just kind of going with it, going with the rhythm, going with the flow, giving yourself some downtime, giving yourself some rest time, getting a change of pace, getting a change of environment, and not having to chase something so hard. Next we have King of Wands. All right, we had Queen of Wands. Now we have King of Wands. A lot of passion, a lot of fire. Okay, this makes me feel, because we had Queen of Wands and we had King of Wands coming up now, I do feel that a lot of you are feeling that this soulmate is your person or your perfect match. But because it's showing up as the Wands and Taurus is not a fire sign, this makes me feel like you're examining what a relationship or what you want your relationship to be. Okay, you're maybe kind of re-examining the terms of your commitments, your long-term plans, how you see living your life. Do you see your life living with this person? Do you see your life like having separate homes but a long-term companion? Do you see yourself getting married? There's kind of like revisiting of what you want and what you're looking for. Okay, overall though, there's a new sense of confidence, a new sense of fire, a new sense of passion, just getting your groove back, here. You have Five of Cups, so again, there could be some, like, I don't know if I want to say friction. In traditional tarot, Five of Cups could be a disappointment or crying over spilled milk. In this deck, though, it feels more to me like the energy of expecting something from someone who maybe is not giving it. And so you might feel like you're disappointing a couple of people. So in other words, I think you might be in a situation where one of you wants to move forward into something more serious and the other is not sure. They may also have somebody who is giving them a hard time about the relationship with you. That doesn't mean that it's not going to work out. But a decision has to be made, right? And I kind of already got that. I was like, I think some of you are trying to figure out, what do you want to do? Do you want to get married? Do you want to like just live separate and have like a long-term, partner? Do you want to move in with somebody? And so you're trying to figure that out. Whatever the case, do not allow anybody to pressure you or to push you into making that decision before you're ready to make that decision. Some of you are having a hard time figuring out if you want to stay in a relationship or not, and you can't allow anybody, like, you don't want to make a decision out of guilt. Any relationship where you're making a decision out of guilt, it's not gonna work, right? Like, already right there, that's strike 1, 2, and 3 all in one. There's nothing good is gonna come out of any decision you're making out of guilt. So we've got Knight of Swords here, right? There's gonna be some kind of argument, okay? Well, maybe not argument, but like something is being addressed. And I think it's happening, Taurus, because you're being encouraged for you to come into that Knight energy, to kind of put an end to it. I mean, look at this chaos. Look at this chaos, you know, like she's coming at him with, she like pulling his ear and she's smacking him with a bouquet of flowers. Like, stand up, come into your assertive energy. Like, no, like, excuse me, this is not okay. So, Taurus, I do think a lot of what's happening for you in your love life in May is you are having these really high points where the universe is teaching you a lesson through pleasure. I've talked about this in previous readings. Sometimes we learn because we go through a lot of pain and we're like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. I never want to feel this way again. And we tell the universe, nope, I'm done. Like, I've learned my lesson. I'm never going to let anybody trick me or lie to me or whatever it might be. You really put your foot down and you're like, you're done, right? And then you're like, never again. Well, after we come into that energy, the universe will give us experiences where we're learning through joy and we're having really positive experiences and we're like, yes, this is amazing. Yes, please, more. Thank you. And you're learning through joy. And I do think there's a soulmate coming in that's teaching you through joy. And then maybe the old life, it could be an old partner, it could be an ex, it could be friends, it could be siblings who are just kind of giving you a hard time about it. You know, maybe they're not happy for where you are. Maybe they're not happy for the changes that you're going through. But it's going to be up to you to stand up and say, no, I deserve to be happy, right? I deserve to have my person. You know, maybe somebody's like trying to pull you in and they're like, well, you know, you're spending too much time with this person, or whatever it might be. You know, maybe somebody's like getting into your business, and oftentimes it's going to be family, right, or close friends who might overstep their boundaries and they want to know where you are and who you've been with and how much money you're spending, like whatever it might be. And you're having to come into this assertive energy and saying no. Like, it's you can't do that. You can't come at me with that energy, right? And then sure enough, here we have 6 of coins. So this is give and take. This is fairness. This is balance. This is abundance. This is you deciding who you're going to give your time to, who you're going to give your money to. You're in control of that. You can't let people tell you or dictate it to you. It's your time. It's your money. It's how you want to spend it. You know, up to you how you want to spend your time and who you want to spend it with, and how you want to spend your money and who you want to spend it with. That's your decision to make. So I do feel like there's a lot happening here through your love life where you're learning a lot of life lessons or things that are bringing you into getting out of the drama, getting out of the toxic energy, getting out of like other people's craziness or like other people's stuff coming into your life. I think basically, Taurus, what's happening is the universe is giving you a person and a relationship worth fighting for. And now that you have it, it's going to be up to you to stand up and to protect it. Okay. And I think this is like one big last push, one big last thing before you're out of that toxic, you know, energy, that toxic thing that keeps coming up for a lot of you in a lot of the readings where you're trying to get out of a certain kind of environment, right? And it's going to be different for different ones of you. This is a general reading. Some of you it's family, some of you it's a relationship, whatever it might be. You know, you're being given some joy, you're being given some happiness, you're being given passion, you're giving something worth fighting for, you're being given something worth fighting for, right? And so now it's up to you to stand up and make that stand and protect it and preserve it. Your next card here is 2 of Swords. And 2 of Swords is a card where sometimes we're afraid to take action. We get in our fear, right? It's kind of like, well, I don't want to take this step forward because I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know how this person is going to react. So you have this relationship worth fighting for, right? But you might be like, well, I don't know if I should fight for it because I don't know if this person is going to be with me forever. Like, I really like the way I'm feeling now, but I can't predict the future. I don't know if we're going to be together forever. Maybe I'll regret it if I say something, or maybe I don't want to be assertive with that person because maybe it's going to turn into an argument and I'm afraid of what they're going to say. So 2 of Swords brings us into this energy where we get very tempted not to take action, or we get very tempted to be stagnant. And I always say, if you're in 2 of Swords energy, you're calling in a tower moment, right? You're standing on the diving board at like a public swimming pool, and you're holding up the line because you're afraid to jump in. Okay, sooner or later what's gonna happen, somebody's gonna come in and they're gonna push you in. I think a lot of us who've taken swimming lessons have had that experience as kids, but that's kind of the position you're putting yourself in. Is like, if you're not taking action, that's the way the universe works. Something will come in and push you. That inertia is going to come in, and it's going to cause things to come into motion. And it doesn't have to be that way if you're the one taking the action. You started off the month strong with that chariot energy. You were all going, right? And things started getting good and you started getting happy. And when the opposition came in, and I was like, oh no, like now I'm like scared, and now I don't know what I want to do. Well, if you don't take action, then there's going to be some kind of tower moment, and you want to avoid this. Okay, let's pull some clarifiers. One, two, and three. So we've got illusion. Don't get caught up in the illusion. Don't get scared. Consider your options, right? Sometimes this could be, maybe you're very afraid of standing up for this relationship because you're like, well, what if it doesn't work out? Okay, what if it doesn't work out? What if you guys don't end up being together forever, right? What if you change your mind, or what if they change their mind? But what are some other options that you can do? Well, now I've gotten out of the toxic relationship. I've had this amazing experience, and if it doesn't go forever, then what are some things I might do? Well, I might, take this trip. I might travel. I might, buy an RV and go camping for a year. I might take this class. I might do a career change. I might take up a new skill. I might, whatever it is, there's going to be other options, right? Even though there's a very significant soulmate coming in, what helps to be able to have the relationship is to be in the faith that if this is the forever person, it'll work out. And if it doesn't work out, if it doesn't go to forever, it just means this person is kind of helping you to someone or something even bigger or better, right? If this isn't your person, then it's the opening act before the main show. If this isn't your person, then it's the delicious appetizer that's coming before the main meal. If you can have that in your mind, it makes it a lot less scary, okay? But, there's no sense in keeping yourself, what did I say? Keeping yourself in a cage. I said that this card keeps popping up, and here it is again. So you're in unfamiliar territory, Taurus. This is different. You're not used to this kind of happiness. You're not used to this kind of energy. With the strength card, to me, it's somebody being in unfamiliar territory, but being able to come out on top, being able to win, being able to overcome any fears, having the strength to stay committed to yourself, stay committed to what you want. There's also a lot of messages for you, Taurus, with this strength card, as far as there's a strength and a gentleness, right? Traditionally, when we see the strength card in tarot, it's a woman, and she's either shutting this lion's mouth, or she's petting it and the lion's cuddling up next to her. And we know she didn't overpower this lion by beating it up and yelling at it. It would have ripped her to shreds. So most probably we can assume she kept a safe distance. She read the cues. She was very careful. Maybe she brought food and like little by little, and just kind of, or water, or took care of it when it was sick, and she won it over. She won its trust, and it becomes like this lapdog. It becomes this guardian, this protector for her, very loyal to her, very faithful to her. Okay, so that's the kind of energy through this kindness, through this gentleness that's coming in, right? So a lot of you Tauruses are going to be learning that perfect balance of your assertiveness and your gentleness. I think some of you are overcoming anger issues, okay? I just heard anger issues are being released. Anger issues are being released. Anger issues are being released. So maybe some of you are also afraid of going into this relationship because you're like, what if I mess it up? What if I scare this person away? But this is different because, first of all, a lot of you are not being provoked the way that you've been provoked in the past. Secondly, there's a different dynamic here, right? And you're finding your gentleness, and you're having this growth, and you're coming into this